Hi friends, it's me, Floppy McFlop, Taylor, and welcome back to another episode of Is It Single Girl Safe? Is It Single Girl Safe is the show where I review products, services, and experiences that makes living alone as a single girl so much easier or so much freaking harder. Welcome back to season 5, literally the season of the worst set of emotions that one could possibly fucking have. It's always so much for me to process because I am like a naturally positive person. Like there's some instances where I am a pessimist, especially as an Aquarius. Like Aquarius do hold the pessimist trait. In Aquarius, I'm not editing this episode either. I don't think I'm gonna edit this whole season. I got a season to drop and this bitch is dropping to be H, so prepare to hear me stutter. Put this hoe on 1.5 or 2 speed to get to the point. But yeah, Aquarius do have that like pessimistic trait in its bag of sacks. But on the flip side of that, we're really optimistic, mainly because reality as we know it could literally change as we know it, to where it's like, what is there to be pessimistic about? You can literally just change your entire life. And then also as a Leo rising in an Aries moon, and I'm a 7 ways Aquarius and then a 2 ways Aries. I got like 1 Cancer placement, 1 Capricorn placement, and 1 Leo placement. Like naturally I'm kind of just like, why would I, like, if I don't want it, that's the only reason why I don't have it. Barriers to something that I don't want really kind of doesn't exist in my head because it just doesn't exist. Like, just go get it. Like, so I would complain about how much work it may take to get it, or I may complain about like, oh, this isn't going how I want it, blah blah blah. But will I complain and be sunken because of lack thereof? That's not really like in my bag of sack, you know? In my bag of sacks. My bag full of other bags. But it's not in my sack of traits, to be very honest. And so to essentially have someone so close to you look down upon you so much and then talk shit about you without even knowing that they're talking shit, and how they act towards, about, around you and others. It's just an ego game. It was just going through a process of somebody's ego trying to make me feel small, and me as a best friend, that doesn't really happen with me. You know, like, I talk highly about my friends and even the people around me. If you're not even my friend, like, I just talk highly about the people around me, to where it's like, even if you are off that floppier shit, I'm like, oh, they're just making some creative choices right now. You know, like, I leave it as is and I just mind my own business. But having to go through the process of somebody who's not like that, and then also not having a medium towards you, they're one of those people that you gotta adjust towards them and their world, but God forbid they actually have like that interpersonal connection to where they would have to adjust themselves to you. That shit does not exist, at least with me. You know, everybody finds their person where they're able to connect that way and do that as friends, but within our friendship and when it comes to me, that did not exist. And I'm having to process the shame of being seen but not being liked, but trying to be kept close. It's like, it's literally such a psychological game that I swear to God, that shit that my mom was on too, to where it's just, I'm having a lot of negative emotions. Shame is one of them, hatred to another because it's something that I wouldn't do to another person. Like, if you are my friend and I do want something to change, or I do need something from you, or I have a concern, or I have a difference or something, you know, I am really good at creating space for all of us. But I've learned, Aquarius are really good at that. That's a base. Aquarius are really good at that. And I feel like when an Aquarius makes it, though, there's some people that take it. They take more to where it's like, this space is only for me. Like, this space wasn't granted by another person being held by two people. And so, you know, having to go through the negative emotions of somebody taking the space that you granted, trying to overall take your face too, because when I'm positive, like when I'm happy and I'm outburst and I'm everything, like that's how I was in the car. That's how I was at home. That's how I was in the bed. That's how I was in the shower. That is how I am in the kitchen. That is how I am on my patio when I am playing with my cat. That joy that radiates out of me is so genuine, and it is real, to where somebody acting like that, but then behind closed doors would talk about somebody as much as, like, as bad as they do, but then in their face show a different face. That shit, it creates hatred in me. You're a liar. You're not who you are. And most importantly, you want something. You're opportunist. I mean, opportunists see opportunists, but it's like, I don't know, in my realm of opportunist vibes, I guess my moral cross comes at, I'm not gonna get, like, if I don't have intentions with you, like if I'm not actually trying to be your friend, or if I don't, like, want at least like acquaintanceship or something, you know, like some type of medium ground. Like if I'm not actually desiring some type of genuine connection, I'm not gonna be in your face. I am not somebody that uses other people to get things faster. It's just not in my trait. And you know, I would say no heat on the people that do, but full heat on the people that do. Because when you fuck around with genuine people, and then especially a genuine person who already is kind of like to themselves, like, it's just ew. It's an ick. Like, I'm processing pure disgust on, why are you fucking even here? Why are you on this earth? Like, if you, like, we all need community, but if you need to screw over somebody so much to where you will present this way but you actually feel this way in order to get what you want, maybe, quite maybe, that isn't something that you need. I don't speak for nobody but the spirit gods, so it's just like, I'm having to process the emotions of shame, of being seen but not being liked, but also being disrespected. I'm having to process the shame of letting that happen. I'm having to process the disgust of another person acting like this, but other people are just still so intoxicated by a mask that could be presented. I'm having to process hatred, because even though it is a tactic, it's something that I personally could never do. Like, I don't know if it's something from past lives or everything and beyond, but you know, I got the curse on what you see is what you get type of shit. Like, I'm not one to really deceive in your face. Like, it's just best for me to either be here or be away. And what I do when I'm away is my business. But when I'm here, I'm not very much of a deceiver, to be very quite honest. And I'm processing hatred for the fact of how many deceivers I have to go through without being able to use that trait back. So yeah, I'm processing shame, I'm processing disgust, I'm processing hatred, I'm processing isolation, This makes me want to be isolated because it's like I'm this positive person all the time, right? There's a couple moments where I'm not positive. And instead of like that outreach, like, oh, like, how can we be there? It's more of like, oh, like I'm already isolated from society. And what sucks is like, I'm glad to be talking about this on camera because it's like, this kind of ties into that last episode on it's like, you already feel isolated for having a high vibration. And then when you hit a low vibration, you also get isolated. Like, that shit hurts and it fucking sucks. I'm glad this isn't the ancient time because there's a lot of times where I like hit my ancient, you know, like body, whatever it was. Like, I don't know what I looked like in one of my past lives, but that shit ringing in the cortex to where it's like sometimes I hit my native body and I'm glad to not be in the native land right now. Because to be isolated from your community with no kingdom to rule over, girl, you're as good as dead. And I say no kingdom to rule over because I swear in one of my lives I was a princess. There's no reason that I should be in regular life right now. Like, I'm royalty in real life. I swear, but still, it's like, to be isolated for being high and then to be isolated for being low. Bitch, I'm just isolated right now. And it's making me feel a lot of shame. And I shouldn't feel shame for being different. It's making me feel a lot of hatred that even one of the most vile, nasty people on the inside still have a community before somebody who loves does. That hurts. And that's also me focusing on another person. I want to keep this focus on myself to the sense of that's kind of that's kind of where emotions come from, you know? Like, this is all about processing these negative emotions. Here I am processing it because it's true. Like, I feel like a lot of it is just rooted in shame. Like, another person treated you this way, talked about you this way, made you feel this way, have no regards to, it's just so detached from them that you either have to make the choice to be okay with it or you have no friendship, and that's okay. I choose the no friendship, but it's also switching the dynamic in public overall. And then I don't know what's up with like the environment right now, but it's like in spaces where I'm really quiet, I feel like some people don't talk to me because they think that I have social anxiety, so it makes them have social anxiety. And so all I feel is social anxiety, and I'm like, why is this being projected onto me? I'm a person of limited words, but I don't feel anxious about it. Like, I feel like I should be able to say the couple of sentences that I have and then exist in a space. Or if I want to be a cartoon character that day, I feel like I should do it. If I don't want to be a cartoon character that day and I just want to float, I'm okay to do it. Like, I feel like I should just be okay to show up however the fuck I want to show up. Because that's all we can do as humans. There's no right or wrong way that humans should show up other than, you know, the respect boundary. Keep your hands to yourself. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't fucking say it. And if you're not aware of it, don't fucking say it. If you're aware of it and you want to be nasty, say it, but be ready for the comeback, because there's people that are aware of that and that say it back. You know, like, I really feel like we should just be able to exist. But yeah, in some of my more quiet spaces, I feel this energy of they think I'm socially anxious, and so they're projecting it back onto me, and so that's what I'm feeling, but that's not what I actually feel on my inside. So I'm having to ignore that. There's other spaces where it's like I'm just too loud. I'm too loud and I'm too like, wow, I'm just happy to be here. Sorry, you're not. None of my business. Get fucking happy. Go do something that's gonna make you happy. Go stare at yourself or something. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what is up with this society and no day being a good day unless we hitting our vapes or we're coffeeed up. Like, I don't fucking know. Like, I would say go touch grass, but they're putting so much concrete outside. There's no fucking grass anymore, no real grass anymore, to where it's just like, I don't know. Every day is not a good day. Every day is not a bad day. I'm processing some negative emotions that, again, like, things, oh, fuck. I'm trying to say this quote, but I'm not the best at reciting things. Am I going to make myself feel shamed about it? No. I'm just going to try to explain it to the best of my ability right now. To where it's like, somebody said, not just somebody, there's actually like a lot of spiritual teachers and a lot of monks and a lot of just overall spiritual guides and people that preach that the way that I tell myself is the negative thoughts are not mine. But I'm trying to think of how I learned that, because I simplified it to the negative thoughts are not mine. But yeah, it's just outward projections. We take people's outward projections, whether it's from when we were a kid or even in this people-pleasing adult body. We take people's outwards projections, we put them in our subconscious, and so even when those people aren't here, we still give ourselves those thoughts as they were here and make ourselves act a certain way to feel okay and to not feel shameful. It's so common. Even if you're unaware of it, this is where it's really good to look at, what do you believe? Like, what is your belief systems? What is your thought process around that belief system? And how is it playing out in your actual life and everything, to really figure out, like, you know, which thoughts are yours and which ones aren't. But I'm processing a lot of negative emotions, and I could comfortably say these hoes are not mine. And so that's how I personally process it, to where it's like some things I'm aware of, and things could only hurt if we let it. And typically when we let it hurt, that means there's some truth to it. So instead of feeling shame about whatever you're hurting about, you know, it's what can we do to fix it or make myself feel better. That's literally my thought process. Like, even today, like, I'm going through this like really finicky, and not even just today, this shit, like this last 6 months have been a really up and down on how someone, I don't know, on how people could be so close to you, be so nice, but then also see you so disgustingly, talk about you so disgustingly, and then overall think that they have no jurisdiction over it, nor do they actually care on the outcome, for they're just going to continue their lives as is. You never actually fully mattered in it. They just needed to get into a room, and it got into that room, and you're not the best in the room, so why the fuck would I keep you as a friend? Going through this experience really gave me a lot to process, and they're opening a lot of wounds that I experienced growing up, to where once and for all, I kind of just want to like get through these and overall continue to build up my weaponry as these things happen. Because again, not every day is a good day. Not every day is a bad day. Not every day is a good day. And so on these not good days, what are things that I could do to keep myself at my level of frequency? You know, everybody's level of frequency looks different. So whatever your base neutral is, even on the worst day, you should at least be neutral. On a good day, going above neutral is fine. I do need to work on this excited ceiling. I need to work on having a ceiling. I don't really have a ceiling. I could get so excited that I get really anxious and then I forget my whole dance. which is really bad and also really childish. Like, that's emotions that children go through. But as someone who's just now getting access to their body again, you're kind of re-going through these emotions, to the sense of you get so excited that your body just spazzes out. I gotta learn how to have a ceiling. So on days that are good days, I'm working on having a ceiling. But on days that are bad days, you gotta be able to identify what your floor is and work your ass off to hit neutral. Because anything below neutral, unless you're making art or something from it that needs you to be in that state for a certain period of time, staying in that state long term is overall going to be the detriment for yourself and everyone around you. And so, yeah, this is me processing my negative emotions. I got negative emotions that are being held on to. They may come from the projections of others, but I let them into my subconscious, and I've low-key have been holding on to it. So I've been feeling like shit about myself for some time now. But fuck that. These negative thoughts are not mine, and they could no longer live rent-free in my beautiful, perfect tummy of a subconscious, bitch. Okay, and so that's today's episode. That's how I process my negative emotions. I would love to see how y'all process y'all's negative emotions. Rather, it's something, less philosophical. I got really philosophical in the sense of these negative emotions are external that I'm allowing to be internal. Because, it's true. Like, of course, there's some level of awareness, because, again, things don't hurt if there's not a sense of honesty within it. So it's being able to be honest and see those parts and do our best to fix it, because some things are not going to be a clean fix, but it's more of like neutrality, re-stabilization, And so, yeah, I do everything in my power to go back to neutral when I process negative emotions. And sometimes it's a distraction outlet, like making something. And sometimes it's literally taking that thought, seeing where the belief is, seeing what truth is in it that would make me even let it into my thought process, and then working on it from there. Nobody is a perfect person. Nobody is their perfect self all the time. Like, we are able to have bad drag. We're able to have bad drag. You should not feel shamed about it, and you should not let others shame you about it, because 9 times out of 10 it's just jealousy. Don't get me into that conversation, because I'm still learning it myself, and there's parts of it that I personally don't believe but need to start believing, because it is true. To the sense of, nobody's fucking perfect, bitch. You don't want me to be a weirdo? Stop acting like a weirdo yourself. I don't know, like, this is how I process my negative emotions. Those negative thoughts are not fucking mine, and what truth is in them that is letting it live within me. Let's target it. Let's murk it, and let's move the fuck on to hit our neutrality. Because no matter what, neutrality is the goal of a wise Aquarius. And yeah, that's my episode. I can't wait to, leave in the, I'm gonna put these on YouTube. I'm gonna drop these hoes on YouTube. Leave in the comments, or even reach out to me. I have like a little Google Docs of like feedback and shit. To leave in the comments. I want to hear about how y'all process negative emotions, because I got really philosophical, but what are some other ways that y'all process this hoe? Thanks for tuning in. Bye. You got me on my knees. You got me on my knees. You got me on my knees. Hi again, friends. Thank you for tuning into another episode. I hope seeing me process my emotions is helping you process your emotions. If you want to support on a deeper layer, subscribe to my Patreon. Check out Jean's music. Mwah. See y'all next week.